Amazing. I'll put some lip gloss on.
Yeah, get it done.
Yeah, get it done before we go on. Have you got your lip gloss on?
Yeah, get it done.
Yeah.
We are live.
Fantastic.
Okay, cool. So, transition you. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of OnChain and UnCut. This evening I have with me Hyper R. Welcome. How are you?
Hi. I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm doing well. A little background on my and Hyper R's relationship. We kind of crossed swords on Twitter. I won't get into it, but it was kind of a cute little bump into. So it's a pleasure to finally meet you. It's a pleasure to have you on air. I'm very excited of learning about all the ventures of NFTs you've got in store for us tonight. YouTube chat is live. We also have all the links we're going to discuss on tonight's episode linked in the bottom of the description on YouTube. So without further ado, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm terrified. I can feel my hands.
Yeah. You should be terrified. This is scary.
Thanks so much for having me on. Like, honestly, I was like, oh, I'm going on a podcast tonight. And it's 5:00 in America, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I'm New York time, so I'm East Coast. So you're catching the after work traffic of the East Coast and then the 2 p.m. traffic of the Cali people. So you're like right there in the mix. So you're prime time in America. You're prime time.
Oh, I'm prime time.
Yeah,
oh.
Absolutely.
I like it.
So where are you based? And I don't want to get too personal. Obviously, we really lean on our anonymity within the NFT space. But where are you based in a general aspect of geographics?
Well, I'm in Paris.
Okay.
I don't sound French, very unfortunately. I'd love to have like a sexy French accent,
Yeah.
but I'm British. I'm from the UK. And I moved here because I love Paris, basically. And it was so sad because Emily in Paris came out roughly the same time. And I was like, no, everyone's going to think I'm copying her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's unfortunate for the trailblazers that are like right there on the cusp of like doing it before everybody else, and then right there, everybody else kind of following. It's kind of like all the digital nomads going to Bali, right? What if you showed up last year and everybody's been there since 2017? So I totally get and relate. I moved to South America right before the boom, and everybody felt like everybody followed me to South America. And I was just like, yo, I'm trying to get away from y'all. Like, go back home.
Get away. I know I'm a trendsetter, but go away.
So tell me, and look, this show's geared towards Ethereum, blockchain, Wax. It's geared towards art in general. But you've got quite a unique style, and you're one of the first. So you're the pioneer here for OnChain and UnCut, for having, outside of Oliver Hassel, having a kind of unique style. And is this... And look, forgive me for not knowing prior to the show, but I like to learn on the show with everybody else. What kind of style is your art? Like pastels, oils? Is it real life scanned in? Tell me a little bit about your process.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, because I'd love to be able to draw from my imagination, but sadly I can't. So I kind of get whoever I think would be most willing and available at the time. Sadly, my boyfriends at the time, and I'm just like, yo, can I borrow you for a photo shoot? Like, can I tip something over you and we'll make it work? Like I was inspired by this photographer called Blake Little that used to like chuck honey over people, and I was like, oh, cool, I want to do that, but I want to paint it. So I got one of my friend's boyfriends at the time and dumped all this like treacly stuff on him, and then took some photos. And then I was like, I want to paint it. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'll do it. Trace the outline, and then I used watercolor, so like the palette paints where you like mix water with it. And I like to work really, really big. And yeah, so that's my most recent piece. He's called Big Blue. He's like as big as me. Like I've got him tucked in the wardrobe at the minute.
That's
just
crazy. That's
phone.
Crazy. I'm sure we'll encounter it on one of these tabs, but I saw you holding it up. And it literally is as big as you are. You're either really small or this is really big.
I think it's a little bit of both, definitely. But yeah, he took like the best part of a year to do a lot of procrastinating, but also a lot of work.
Sure.
And I painted him originally for the Luxembourg Art Prize, which I just got a certificate of commendation for, which was nice.
Congratulations.
Sadly didn't place,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
But now he's an NFT.
That's great. That's great. So was this a show, and we'll get to your certificate in a minute, was that a show that you were in?
It was like it's like an art prize, so it's a competition. It's like a worldwide competition. I've wanted to enter it for so long. I was so lucky I got sponsors to pay for my entry.
I think you're on here somewhere.
Entered in and had like my fingers crossed, but sadly not this year. There was a lot of good competition. Yeah, there's me.
There you are.
Like trying to eat it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's beautiful. I love the image. I love the image. So tell me a little bit about your background as far as, obviously a lot of people come from a lot of walks of life. Have you been in the art scene for a long time? Is this something new to you? Because I mean, your art's incredible. Let's just start there. I didn't reach out to you to get on this show because like I just needed somebody to come on the show. Frankly, I wanted to take the day off. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very intriguing, and my favorite artist, who's a partner of mine, Oliver Hassel, he couldn't wait for tonight's show because he went and kind of snooped your art, lurking. We were lurking, trying to check your art out. So tell me a little bit about it. I mean, obviously we've heard the process, but a little bit about the background and why you got into art.
Well, my art interest sparked off my dad, who was a real like avid artist, and he was more like modern art and everything, and I kind of grew up like watching him paint and trying like copy, and just not really succeeding when you're like a little kind of toddler.
Right.
But then I started to do more and more, and at school like I really took an interest, and like I kind of had a knack for it. I was very lucky that it kind of just flowed to me. It's always something that I've enjoyed, but I didn't go to university for art. I actually studied like media and communications and like more techie stuff, and I kind of never felt I fit completely into the art scene because I never felt like I fully enveloped art, because I saw these people like really committed to it. Like they dressed arty, they were so cool, and I was like, I'm not as cool as these people.
Yeah, like the beatniks running around with their little berets on, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, and like I was like, I really want to fit in, but I just never felt like I was that artsy, but like I still loved creating. So I kind of just started doing this series, and I've been doing this series since I was like 16, and they've honestly like become a part of me. Like my first piece, Bittersweet, like he felt like he won a bursary competition that sent me to uni so I could go. So I'm super grateful for what they've kind of done for me in a way.
That's awesome. And I don't know when you entered into the space, but were you in the art craze of the NFT space in March, April of this year, or was it a little bit later on? When did you get into NFTs?
Oh, I wish I got in March. Like, I wish I got in around then, but I got in around October.
Okay.
So not too long ago, like the end of October. So I've only been here for like a month and a bit, but I've like literally, as soon as I was in, like I either go like hard or I don't.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be in. I want to be in here.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you, because I got in February, March of this year, like when everybody got in, when you ask somebody and they're like, oh, I've been in the whole time, they're like, March, you know what I mean? A month is a year is like 4 years, you know what I mean? So I can tell you your art would have insta-sold back in March, April. I mean, like you wouldn't have been able to hold on to it. And these peaks and valleys we go through in the NFT space, we're all still real early, but that was the Wild West of the NFT space.
Nice. So I have heard like around March and everything, like if you created a product, it
didn't matter. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been a notepad, and you could have drawn a stick figure, and you could have sold it for $1 Ethereum. And $1 Ethereum back then was $1,400 to $1,800 back then. So Yeah, it was a wild time. It was a wild time. Well, welcome to the space.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome
I
to the
feel very
space.
welcome.
And look, we're in the trend. You know, we went through the woes of, you know, we have to have a token, we have to have utility, we have to, you know, is there a game, like what kind of rewards do we offer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you know, we're just now getting back to art with this Blackworks project that Oliver Hassel and I are putting together. So, you know, we're gearing ourselves. Why were we here in the beginning, right? Like, you know, it wasn't ever about the rewards or the money or the tokenomics or the utility. It was about the art. That's why we're here. So I really appreciate people like yourself coming into the space, not trying to. And look, there's a lot of fun games out there, and there's a lot of good people behind them. But you know, I think people are losing sight of the art within the NFT realm. So I just truly value and appreciate someone like yourself, like I said, coming into the space with art. Yeah, I mean, it's just huge. It's just huge. Let's transition into a little bit more about. Obviously, you're on Foundation. There, let's start there. And you can purchase your art through OpenSea as well. Is that correct?
I think there might be a link. I think the platforms are linked. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I've only got stuff minted on Foundation as of yet. I've just done my big portraits there.
Got it. Well, Foundation's a great start. That's, you know, people used to have to get invited. I don't know if they still do that. Like, it's been a while since I've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Foundation thing is really a pertinent, you know, platform that you're on. So tell me a little bit more about this. I don't want to steer away from your art, but I do want to know about this degenerate art. How do you? Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So tell me all about it.
Okay, so degenerate art. Basically, I was just on Twitter. I had no idea what I was doing in the NFT space, and then this like guy approached me on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, your artwork's great. Like, do you want to come on our platform? Like, be one of our artists?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I want to be an artist. That sounds brilliant."
Yeah.
And like, he was super duper friendly, really cool guy, and like he literally has like my friend got me into NFTs, but he really has helped me fully understand like what is going on in this space.
Yeah.
And so basically we've been like working together. There's a bunch of like other artists on the platform, like there's loads of us on the team. So basically what we are is just like a collection of artists who are creating a product. Basically, you can buy a mint pass and we'll create like a personalized PFP, which comes with a soundtrack. There's a guy called Harple on the team. Like, he's awesome. He's got these amazing skills to just create soundtracks out of like nowhere.
Right.
And like these few mint passes on here, like these two, like they're incredible. Like, I'm trying to see what they could have a gallery. Honestly, he's like insane. He just makes just pop art and like, what's it called? Collages. That's the one I'm looking for. And like, honestly, like Rain, like she's like the most badass person like I've ever met. And we all just met over the internet. And basically, like, if you buy a mint pass, then you get access to a personalized PFP, which is done in the style of our artwork, a personalized track. There's certain other elements being added. So there's a guy who is a like, he works in medicine. He's like helping run up like papers and like the medical field that's still like under development and everything, and kind of under a process. But that's kind of a gap in the NFT market, is within like sort of health and everything. So that's quite cool. And then also we've recently moved more into consulting as well, because a lot of people were kind of coming to us like, hey, like, how does this work? What's going on? And we found out we were like telling a lot of people like how the space worked and everything. And people were like, hey, like, you guys should like get more into this. And like people actually started like wanting to contribute to our platform. And we were like, great. So that's kind of gained traction. We've met some awesome people through that, got some people from the more traditional art world into NFTs. And I feel like that's our real like ethos as a group, is to bring traditional art, or like people who are worried that the NFT space will kind of like take away from that like rich, like either like nature of their art, and like bring it online, because NFTs are really scary. I didn't understand them when I first came in. So from an experience of like being a very traditional artist myself and moving on to the NFT kind of sector and absolutely loving it, I kind of really enjoy showing people it's not a terrifying place to be. Once you get the knack of it, it can be great. And you meet some great people like yourself, so
absolutely.
it's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, I will say you guys have a great idea, because I've got the same model.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, great minds think alike. So if I'm understanding this correct, and let's go back to this OpenSea page real quick. This is an entry in. This is like buying a commission piece that will come with a PFP and a soundtrack done in you guys' style, or a variance of an artist's style that you get to pick from. Is that correct?
Yeah. So like that's so like the artists down there, like this is like the more arty team. That's my face there. And like not all of the artists have got their mint passes ready. Like we're still like recruiting, processing, and everything's growing. So obviously like when you have a project, you keep like giving back to your community. So you're like, hey, there's a new thing that we're doing. So we're like constantly progressing.
That's great.
So I sometimes don't even know what we're coming up with next. So sorry if I didn't say that very clearly.
No, you're great. You're great. And so I guess the biggest takeaway here from what you said is, bringing those real world artists into a space that they haven't fully legitimized yet, right? They haven't fully dove into, and then taking that scariness, as you so eloquently put, it is, because a lot of people, with talent, they don't know how to market themselves. Mm-hmm. They don't really understand the NFT space, or how to create a wallet, or how to transfer, or mint, or et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So having somebody on the back end, and like kind of like I say, you bring the art, I do the rest. You know what I mean? Just bring the art, and we'll take care of it. So yeah, and there's something that differentiates your product from mine, which is this, which I dig, which is, kind of buying a commission and then having a variance of styles that you can kind of be created upon. I think that's really, really, really cool.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also just saw we have our dictionary as well. So the terminology, we have a dictionary. If you scroll up, there's like that pink blob. Yes, okay, gotcha. That. So we have like a dictionary of terminology, which we're constantly adding to, because I find the terminology in the space is so vast.
Wind moon.
Like this is created by the guy who founded the whole thing. Like he knows kind of the whole sector so well. So I've left that in his capable hands. But any kind of new terminology we come across, we're like, does anyone know what this means? Like, so we don't look stupid online.
This is great. I mean, there could be a relationship here, because with Agora's tokenomics and utility, and we have artists like yourself, like real world, like
awesome.
Yeah, and there's something that you have that I don't, and I have that you don't. I mean, there's possibly we should probably all talk one day, because
this would be like we're single, like ready to mingle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we're becoming blockchain agnostic, and I know you guys are on Foundation, Ethereum based, ERC20. I mean, we're already in the wax world, which is about to just absolutely boom. So we should all talk, offline probably.
Yeah, this would be so much fun. No, definitely. Like I know. It's so hard with the NFT space, because I know everybody's names, but I don't want to dox anyone.
Right.
But like the guy I work with, he would definitely be super interesting. He's really friendly. I make him sound like this like mysterious supervillain.
I totally get it. I've been running around, and I've been with almost every project out there. It's a bit incestuous, this industry. Everybody has worked with, or DM'd, or been on Discord with the other. So, projects mold out of other projects. Some projects breed and become another project. I mean, it's
literally.
Yeah. So, that's kind of why we're becoming blockchain agnostic, and not only that, it's another reason we're trying to get back to art. You know, the gamification, like I say, is cool, and all this utility and like making money is cool, but like we all became friends because of the art, and I just don't want it to go too far in the other direction, and we lose sight of that, because I think that's very important to stick to your roots when you become something. I mean, you got to know where you came from, and
exactly, yeah. And it's just really nice because I went down the whole kind of like traditional selling route. Like I sold my work at auctions and stuff, and my original, like they got valued, like my pieces got valued at like 15,000 by like an art evaluator.
Sure.
And then it went up for auction, and the auction, it wasn't like advertised very well. Like it was quite like a private auction, and no one really knew it was even going on. So in the end, none of the pieces that were in the auction ended up getting sold, and it was all the people in-house ended up buying them because no one knew there was an auction. So my original piece, like my bittersweet, sold for £100. And I managed to track down the owner and get it back. And I was like, hey, look, like I want to make this guy into an NFT. Like, can I have it back? And she was the loveliest person. She was like, yeah, sure, no stress. And she very lovingly like gave it back, so I could do what I wanted with it. Great. So she's awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah, I just, you know, I think there's a duty we have, especially platforms. Let's take HyperR out of it. Just as far as platforms go, I think there's a duty we have to keep this what it is, and it's about art. Now, any variants thereof, a project, you can start off with art, obviously, and make it into whatever you want. But I just don't want us to get too sidetracked with all the money making. And
yeah, I feel like it can be easy to like get caught up in it. But like as you said, like if you love what you're doing and the money comes with it, like it's like you've hit like the jackpot.
Yeah,
like,
you've hit the jackpot. And profit is not a dirty word, right? Look, I'm the business, like that's what Agora came from. I'm the business. I don't paint. I can appreciate it and I know what's good and what's not, but I can't do it. Like I'm not that guy. So that's kind of why this all came together. So if there's anybody that loves profit, it's me, and designing and planning and strategizing. But I've gotten really involved in the art and with the artists, and it's something that I take to heart, man. Like this is so that's why it brings us full circle, is why I got attracted to your work. It's beautiful. So
oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
but no, I definitely am in agreement with you that like I think making profit is seen as sort of like an almost taboo thing, like not to talk about money. But I completely disagree with. I feel like wealth isn't associated with like evil or bad. I feel like it amplifies the person that you are, and like clearly you have such like an interest in like building up artists, giving back to the space, and like I feel like what you do with the wealth only amplifies who you are as a person. So like it can be used for like good or evil, you know what I'm saying? But like if you're a good person, like good things are gonna come, you know? So absolutely. I definitely agree. So no, I think it's good, everyone supporting each other. And
very well said. And this is and here's what I love about, and look, I didn't want to make this about this, but like we could go on forever. So you know, the NFT space is providing opportunities for artists that would have never been discovered, they would have never been seen, their work would have never been viewed, and it's an outlet for them to be able to make $1 while doing what they love and spreading this worldwide. So it's just a lovely scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like it is so nice to see artists being discovered. That like I never had this much appreciation for my art ever. Right. I'm just like, what? Like people like my stuff.
You know, like to so nice. To get in a gallery it's a production. It's a thing. Like to get into a show or to be on a gallery wall, it's a thing. And look, you got the internet as a gallery now, so it's exactly. You know, and with people like yourself and myself and, you know, other platforms out there, getting started is just not that hard. So I love that not only you're producing this art, which I love, but you've had the wherewithal to get with somebody and kind of elevate that to the next level and bring people with you. It's not about
completely.
self, it's about we all go together, as I say frequently.
Oh, completely. Like the people who have like helped me in this community, that I've got to give back. Like all the knowledge I've learned is purely from people's kindness.
Yeah.
And like helped me get in. Like my friend, like Winnie, she helped me get in the NFT. I didn't even know what an NFT was. She told me about gas prices, and it's when the gas crisis in the UK was happening, like the petrol crisis. And I was like, oh, are they connected? And she was like, oh my God, like you have so much to learn.
No, I know.
But like, yeah.
And us being in this space so early, we lucked out by getting in with like-minded people. We're kind of all learning together. That's not going to be forever, right?
No.
Look, we're the humans are good by default, I guess. Let's say most of them, and I think when we all learn together, there's mistakes that are forgivable for a certain amount of time, and we're still within that little window. But, end of next year, people aren't going to be giving this advice out for free. There's going to be classes, there's going to be subscriptions. So, I just feel like we all got real lucky. We're all real early still, I feel. And, yeah, man, this is beautiful work. I really love your work.
That's so kind of you to say. Like, honestly, I'm like, ooh. I'm trying to play it cool, but I'm filled with butterflies right now. Thank you. And I really appreciate being brought into your space. And
absolutely. Yeah. Feel free to jump in Discord. There's a lot of artists in there. There's a lot of creators that have been there since the beginning. Yeah, and they're all there to chalk it out. So yeah, feel free. So let's move through your socials real quick, and then we'll convene. So you're obviously on Twitter, and everything is linked in your link tree. Everybody, please go give her a follow. Do you preview any of your art? What do you have coming up next?
Well, I'm hoping to do. I'm one of those terrible artists where I cannot decide what I want to do. I'm like, okay, I want to put my stuff on clothes. I'm like, actually, no, I want to do another series. And actually, no, I want to go more into like helping other people out. And I'm like, just pick a side. I need to pick something. But I would love to do because I have a job alongside all of this at the minute, which takes up a lot of my time. Sure. I'm hoping if things continue the way that they are and like people continue to support me the way that they do, like I'll be able to do this full time, and then a collection I'm hoping will come from that. Like I did a photo shoot with one of my like very dear friends, not boyfriend, but a very dear friend, and covered him in gold paint. So I'm hoping to do him as my next like hyperrealism collectible face, as it were. I'm currently in the process of tracking down one of my other hyperrealism pieces that I sold. It's in Geneva at the minute, and I'm looking to get that back so I can make him into an NFT. Okay. And then I'm hoping to do some more series like surrounding sort of like my drippy art and putting it maybe on different body bits. But I've been hearing a lot of kind of buzz around like the Tez platform, like Polygon and everything. And I've got some cute little art collections I might pop on there as like a test, because that's like a water I have not explored yet.
Well, if you need help, just DM me. I have the whole Tez thing. I've got I have everything. I've got Nifty Gateway. I've got Vivi. I got Tez. I got Algo. I got them all. So if you ever need any help, just, obviously feel free to DM me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And the style, please do some more in this style, because I might be snooping around to pick one of these up, because I really dig it. I really dig it.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, so where's the best way for people to follow you? Is it TikTok? Is it Insta? Is it Twitter? Twitter's obviously the crypto and NFT. Is that the best space to kind of track what you're doing and what you're up to?
Oh, 100%. I'm most active on Twitter. I'm trying to spread out amongst all platforms, but sometimes I'll like neglect one more than the other. But like I try and put all my content out on Twitter, and like Instagram kind of follows on through that. And then it's usually TikTok will get the brunt.
Get the snickle fritz.
Like sometimes I'll do like a big dump on TikTok. That's some information put out there for another.
Well, look, don't feel bad, because like we kind of talked backstage, like my entry into the social media realm was Twitter in April, when I decided to do these ground up builds for these projects, because I've got I've had 3 in real life companies that were sales and marketing. And I just brought that into, the internet, and full time January 13th of this year. So my Twitter offloads into the Instagram, which I just figured out how to work. I completely understand. You're not the only one. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. This is so much fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We'll definitely have to have you back on maybe next year and kind of check back in and see what you're up to.
Oh my goodness. What's going to happen in a year's time? And you as well. Where are you going to be? What's going to
I'm going to be on the moon. I don't know about you.
Sounds great.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to cut it here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hyper, thank you so much for coming on. Show will be going on a hiatus until the 30th, which we'll have the new project Blackworks on the 30th, the day before the last day of 2021. We will definitely be filling you guys in through Twitter, so make sure to stay tuned there. Bird Pack's still available, Bird Games coming up, and the tool, as well as please subscribe if you like it, because I'm going to give up if y'all don't start subscribing. Y'all all watch it, but y'all don't subscribe. Hyper R, thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you so much for having me. And yes, everyone subscribe. It helps creators out. And honestly, it's been a pleasure meeting you. And please keep up with content because this is so much fun.
Absolutely. Stay right there. Let's go backstage. I want to talk to you for a minute. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You'll have a great night.
Bye, everyone.